Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
I just want to make sure that y'all can hear me this time. What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. This edition of the State of the Saints podcast, powered by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 150% on your first deposit and up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Download the BETUS app or go to the website, use the promo code YouTube150. And you will probably see that the Saints are a 7-point underdog going into this game versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. The Saints, they travel to the West Coast, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. We know the Saints are on a 5-game losing streak. The Saints have lost 5 straight after starting the season 2-0. It has been very, very dark in the world of Saints football. I mean, it has been absolutely abysmal and embarrassment over the last couple of weeks. But, you know, the good news is the New Orleans Saints got some players coming back. I mean, they got Chris Olave coming back. He cleared concussion protocol. You also have Taysom Hill, who is an integral part of the Saints offense. Seemed like he is the Saints offense. It seemed like the Saints offense got hurt when he got hurt. But they will be back. You also have Pete Warner that will be playing in this game. Look, we've all heard this. We all heard all week long the Saints, they're starting to make these excuses about injuries. Now, to me, look, I kind of just go by what I see, and, you know, I just adjust accordingly. The last couple of weeks, the Saints have been dealing with injuries, and the question was asked about how could this affect them and all these injuries and how this could affect you going forward. And they just dismissed it. They made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. They made it seem like, oh, yeah, we still got the right guys on the field. We still going to be competitive, this, that, and the third. Then all of a sudden, they get waxed at home by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They drop 51 points on them. And then Sean Payton comes into the Superdome with the Denver Broncos, drop 33 on them. And now all of a sudden, after that game, now all of a sudden injuries is the reason why the Saints aren't successful. All I'm saying is it just seems to me that they constantly make excuses for the obvious, which is Dennis Allen isn't a good head coach. You can tell by the body language of those players. You know, Demario Davis, he got upset and took exception to the fact that people said that they quit. I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe you didn't quit, but your team did. And you're not going to tell me that one of the best defenses in football over the last couple of years, I mean, you can't tell me that y'all didn't quit. I mean, it's rather that, I don't know, maybe the Monstars came down from their planet and sucked all your talent out. But the fact is, this is not a good football team. And until they actually start playing some competitive football, I'm not picking them to win a football game. You look at the Los Angeles Chargers. They're not knocking your socks off. They ain't like offensive efficiency. Defensively, they're really good. But they're not one of the best teams in football. They got a really good quarterback in Justin Herbert. But all these different problems that these teams seem to have. Like you look at the Chargers. Chargers average 17 points a game, right? They don't score 20 points. But I guarantee you, going up against the New Orleans Saints, they are what you call the get-right team. No matter what has been ailing your team, no matter what the issue has been with your football team, guess what? Every time you've seen to play the New Orleans Saints, everything just automatically gets absolved. If you're struggling running a football, guess what? Play the Saints and you'll go for 200 yards. have trouble scoring touchdowns. Guarantee you play New Orleans Saints, couple touchdowns on the board, make you feel real good about yourself. This doesn't give me any type of pride or pleasure to talk about a team that I love. I'm just telling y'all the reality. I'm not here to try to wave the pom-poms for something that I know for a fact is pretty obvious. Until the New Orleans Saints get rid of Dennis Allen as their head coach, they'll never win nothing. They'll never win nothing. We're basically just wasting our time. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably be the same old song and dance. You know, they'll probably muster up a few victories to try to save face towards the end of the season, to try to validate Dennis Allen being your coach. Same old, same old, same old, same old. All right. Do I expect for the offense to improve to this week? Yes. Taysom Hill is coming back. Taysom Hill is the offense of the New Orleans Saints. The offense left when he left. So all of a sudden he comes back. I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to run the football. They're probably going to be able to, matriculate the ball down the field. They'll be able to do all those different things, right? But to me, still, you still have issues on the offensive line. I mean, no disrespect to Cesar Ruiz, and I understand that he is a veteran, and he does solidify his position at right guard. But this isn't like we're talking about Quentin Nelson or Lane Johnson or something like this. It's not like we're talking about one of those gentlemen. Like Cesar Ruiz is a average offensive lineman, right? I mean, I can name a few right guards that are better than he is, but they're making it seem like, well, Quentin Nelson coming back. And then on the defensive side of football, they're talking about, oh, well, now we got Pete Warner. I mean, Pete Warner, is he, pretty good? Like really good. Like, he tackles really well, but it's not Lawrence Taylor. He's not Ray Lewis. I don't want people to just make it seem like I'm just out here beating up on the team. What I'm saying is what they're trying to feed to the masses is just absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The reason why the New Orleans Saints aren't winning is because you can count some of the injuries, but they can't make adjustments. And anytime Dennis Allen goes up against a competent coach with a competent team, he falls short. Now, just for the sake of, this podcast, right, I'm going to give you all the keys to victory for the New Orleans Saints. How can the New Orleans Saints win this football game? It's very simple. Running the football. Running the football using Taysom Hill, because when Taysom Hill is in the lineup, it affects you offensively because teams don't know how to approach him from a defensive perspective. You don't know if he's going to run the football. You don't know if he's going to throw it. And the fact that he is he's a good passer. Like, Taysom Hill isn't like just somebody that just like a gimmick passer. Like, he can throw the football. Like, he can thread the needle in some cases. So you got to respect that, right? And you got to respect the fact that, he can run your defensive players over. And, so there's that dynamic. Then also, I like what I saw out of Kendre Miller. I think that the Saints need to utilize him a little bit more. And you also, add the fact that Alvin Kamara is still playing. So running the football is going to be key. Making the young Spencer Rattler feel comfortable. Utilizing his strength, which is moving him out of the pocket in order to get him on a roll, in order for him to be able to throw the ball down the field. If you are going into the third quarter and you have to rely on Spencer Rattler to throw you back into the game, this game is going to be over before it starts. The best way for the Saints to win this football game is to control the time of possession. They're going to have to control the time of possession, and they're going to have to make sure that they sustain some of these long drives. That means being able to convert when you're on third down. That means that you're going to have to be able to cash it in the red zone. You got to be able to come away with some points. Now, you look at the Chargers. They're missing some of their key wide receiver. Quentin Johnston is not going to be in this game. Will Dissly, the tight end, he's been dealing with injuries. You got J.K. Dobbins, but he didn't really do anything against the Arizona Cardinals. You're going to have to make sure that you're playing disciplined football, because this is one of those games where you can't really zero in on one particular player. They got so many different guys that they're going to rely on. I'm talking to Chargers in order for them to be able to move the football. Justin Herbert. I mean, this guy threw for 340 yards with a bunch of, middle of the pack wide receivers. This guy is talented, man. So he can hurt you if if you keep him in the pocket. It's going to be tough for the New Orleans Saints front four because you got Slayer on one side, who is a really good left tackle, and then you got Joe Alt, who was the top offensive lineman drafted in this year's draft. They got him on the right side. Let me put this thing into perspective for y'all. All right, Slayer is playing so well, so good at the left tackle position that the top rated left tackle in Joe Alt has to play right tackle. So I want y'all to understand that. And keep in mind that the New Orleans Saints have not had no sacks. I got to go hood with it. No sacks in 29 pressures. In the last 29 pressures, they got 0 sacks. So I don't know what you got to do. Maybe you're going to have to send Alante Taylor on a cornerback blitz, or you got to send somebody on a safety blitz in order to get Justin Herbert off his spot. But the way that this offensive line is structured for the Chargers, going to be kind of tough to be able to get pressure on Justin Herbert. The Chargers like to run the football, which is a recipe for disaster for the Saints run defense. If the Saints want to stop the Chargers, guess what? They're going to have to stop the run. I don't know how they're going to do it, but somebody's going to have to challenge somebody. They're going to have to have a conversation. That is the only way they're going to win this football game. Jim Harbaugh likes to play smash mouth football. That is what he is bringing to Los Angeles, running the football and throwing the football, as a luxury. So they're going to run the football. And this is what the New Orleans Saints are going to have to go up against every single week. They're going to have to go up against teams willing to run the football on them because they understand that the Saints can't stop the run. Just that plain and simple. So when it's all said and done, if the Saints can do these things, stop the run the football, control the time of possession, and also, convert on third downs, and also turn some of these red zone trips into points, they'll win this football game. But if they allow the Chargers to run the ball up and down the field, and they allow no pressure on Justin Herbert, it's going to be a long, long day for the black and gold. And it's going to be a long, long day for us to have to subject ourselves to watching the New Orleans Saints fumble all over themselves yet again for the 6th consecutive week. But I still think the Chargers are going to win this football game. I think that it's going to be one of those games where, you'll probably see some improvements offensively from the Saints. But until I see otherwise, I can't pick the New Orleans Saints. I would be lying to y'all. I'd just be the biggest homer walking the face of God's green earth if I were just to pick the Saints to win this football game. The only way I can see them winning this football game is just me looking at my younger self inside, like deep down inside, just cheering for this team, good, bad, or indifferent. And I just can't do it right now, man. I just can't. So, and it looks like look like the Atlanta Falcons are gonna win the football game because like they're gonna win the football game. They already converted on a first down on a 4th and 1 with Kirk Cousins. So that's another thing that you're gonna have to deal with. Let's make no mistake about it, folks. If the Saints going to try to make this thing competitive, they can't lose another game. And I think we all know that ain't going to happen. We don't worry about results here. Atlanta winning. TJ want to laugh so bad. Says who that? Says week 8 minutes of silence for moment of silence for DA. Bad news is our coach suck. I still want us to lose. Am I wrong? You ain't got to hope. Wait, I'm telling you, man. I don't care what they say. I don't look. I heard Demario Davis in the locker room talking about that he took exception to people saying that they quit. Look, man, I don't know. Like, you can't do something and then somebody call you out on it and then get mad that they called you out. Like, nah, bro. Like, y'all quit. Y'all quit. Y'all been quitting for weeks. But, unfortunately, you don't have a general manager who actually looks at that type of stuff and realize that, I don't know, maybe we'll play a little bit better if we probably, let go of this coach. I don't know. Man, if this team goes on, say, a 5-game winning streak, I'd be happy but angry as well, especially if they whoop the Chargers today. I'd be like, where was this over the last 5 weeks? Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it does. Like, what are you trying to prove? Like, what are you trying to prove here? Like, we seen this movie before. We seen it before. They do the same thing. They'll go up against some of the top teams in the league, get slapped around, and then they'll probably wheel off a 3 full game winning streak against struggling football teams that's probably already out of playoff contention, probably already had their plans or what they're gonna do in the off season, and then all of a sudden, this is what they present to us, talking about, oh, we were so close. We were close. We were really close. I mean, we were closer than you can ever be to winning a game. We were close to winning the division. You're not close. You're not close. You're not even relatively close to winning football and consistently winning football. Like, winning football games, consistently being a contender, consistently doing the things that good teams need to do in order to win. Look, you know what I'll be evaluating him on? How about evaluating him on going up against competent head coaches? Because if you make it to the postseason, these are the coaches that you're going to be going up against. These are the coaches that you're going to have to play in order for your team to advance in the postseason. What has Dennis Allen done against a competent, elite, a top head coach in his coaching career besides get out coached? This man went to the podium after a game against the Kansas City Chiefs and says, we got out coached. Bruh. Like, seriously, I understand Andy Reid is a really good coach, a really, really good coach. But at the end of the day, dude, like, if you're talking about being around, if you're talking about being competitive, if you're talking about taking a team to the next level, you got to be able to be lock and step and compete with coaches like that. Like, the Saints are playing themselves, and honestly, they're questioning the intelligence of the Who Dat Nation. You ain't winning nothing with this, man. I don't care if they do win today. I'm serious, man. I want them to win football games, but make no mistake about it. As long as they continue to, just like they do with the salary cap, kick this can down the road, you are not going to get the results that you seek. And you playing yourself if you feel like that's going to be the case. Don't get mad at me because you know that I'm telling you the truth. It's like some people get mad, like they what they expect for him. I'm talking Dennis Allen, to wake up and just become Bill Belichick. Wake up just to be Bill Walsh. Wake up to be Don Shula. He is not. He ain't it, bro. Like, we playing ourselves. We are playing ourselves when we believe that. I don't care what type of winning streak they go on. It's not sustainable success. To me, as long as Dennis Allen is the head coach, the Saints are just setting themselves up for another year of failure. Oh, we won 3-4 games in a row. Yeah, we're trending in the right direction. And then the next season, you're close again. Then the next season, then you're close again. Like, I'm just like, I don't get it. Jim Harbaugh trying to win a title in college and the pros, and 4 head coaches, Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll, and Larry Brown in basketball. Well, look, I think that he can. I mean, he made it to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, right? He made it to the Super Bowl with the 49ers a couple of years ago, coached up against his brother. And they were, he was close to winning that football game. All right, so it looked like, I don't know, it looked like Baker Mayfield gonna get another opportunity. Like, he gonna get another opportunity to try to drive down the field. 31-26. Let's see what they can do. I told you Mickey Loomis doesn't care about winning. He is showing you by keeping Dennis Allen around, Define is going to have to going to the games. I assume, let me just paraphrase this. You're saying that people are going to have to stop going into the games and stop, supporting this football team the way that they do in order for changes to take place. I tell you what, man, if this dude allowed this man to coach this football team another year after what you have seen, I don't, like, honestly, I mean, I think you pretty much told every Saints fan in the entire world what you feel. It's not about generating success. It's not about wins and losses. It's about you keeping face and not trying to admit that you made a mistake when it comes to Dennis Allen. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of crazy decision that was. So Younghoe Koo, they tried to kick a long field goal with him, and he looked like he missed. Did he miss? Yes, he did. He shanked that mug. So couldn't miss the field goal against the Saints, but been shanking them left and right as of late. But we'll see, man. We'll see. A minute left. You gave Baker Mayfield a half a field. Man. Interesting. 45-9 Chargers. Saints defense gives up on special ed Dennis Allen again. Exactly. Either you quit or you ain't as good as you thought you were. They quit, man. That defense is too good. That defense has been too talented for me to believe that they ain't just quitting on them dudes. Them boys out there on some Randy Moss stuff. I play when I want to. I told you, TJ, Mickey Loomis doesn't care. I think I already read that. It says, this season is over, man. DA is not the answer. He been getting out-coached his whole coaching career. Somebody was talking about, when I was mentioning a bridge coach, and I was saying like the Saints just need a bridge coach, while they're dealing with these salary cap issues. Like that's what they've been doing. But I don't know, man. Like maybe that's it. Honestly, that would explain a lot. Maybe it's one of those situations where the Saints understand the salary cap situation, and they feel like maybe it'll be too tough to get a coach up in here that's competent, so we can just keep Dennis around for a couple of years while we deal with our cap issues. Then once we let him go, we can bring another coach in, and he can start from scratch. Maybe that's just it. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. But I can't see people putting up with this football team losing year after year until you get your salary cap situation straight. Like, you got to call it for what it is. There's only 32 coaching jobs in the National Football League. 32 of them. Not many, okay? I don't care what your situation is. These guys want to be head coaches, so you can find yourself a head coach. What we're talking about not being appealing and all that kind of stuff, like, nah. I think for the simple fact that they see how much patience this guy has, like dedicating himself to this loser of a head coach. Like, I think that in itself might make somebody want to stay around, because they know, like, okay, man, we can stink, we can suck, we can do all these different things, but guess what? Like, at least I know I'm gonna keep my job. They're gonna be patient with me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just keeping this guy around because of the salary cap issue. Maybe that's what it is. TJ, Dennis Allen record versus women head coaches. He is the worst. It's one of the sentence is 305. He have a 171 among all coaches. He is the worst. He is 2-8 winning record. I guess you're saying against winning coaches. I know you ain't mean women head coach. I guess you mean winning head coach. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he'll have a losing record against women head coaches, men head coaches. Doesn't matter. He's Dennis Allen. He's not very good. I got you. Said Koo miss, man. Barbara Koo been missing for weeks now. He been shanking them field goals. Man. But look, all in all, I got the Saints losing the football game. I'll be back at halftime, man. We'll break down the first half. Hopefully we have some stuff we can talk about. But thank y'all so much. Thank you for those that donated. Thank you for checking out the State of the Saints podcast powered by BETUS. Sign up today. Get up to 150% on your first deposit and 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. Download the BETUS app or go to the website. Use the promo code YouTube150. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.